Laser sights can deter threats and aid in quick target identification, enhancing your ability to protect your family, home, and country. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
This is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, now available on iTunes and other podcast clients, and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for iPhone and Android. Feel free to call Tom now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN or 866-825-5486, or email Tom at guntalk.com. Now, once again, here's Tom.
All right, back with you, 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. I'm Tom Gresham. If you want to know more about what we do, go to guntalk.com. It is our all-inclusive, super-duper, redesigned, and works most of the time website, guntalk.com. Also, of course, if you don't have it, shame on you. Get Gun Dealio, stick it on your smartphone, Android or iOS, your Apple device. It's got to be a phone, not an iPad. It's called Gun Dealio, and with that, you can save tons of money buying guns and ammo and other things, as well as, hey, you can even listen to past shows of Gun Talk, and you know you want to do that. Gun Dealio. Okay, you have heard me talk about this the last few weeks after the news broke. International organization, actually, public service, community group, Rotary International. They made a decision. They put out a clarification that their chapters are not to be involved with shooting, giving guns away, raising money with guns, etc., etc. Citing a reputation risk. Well, I was a member of Rotary for a number of years. I have a good friend who is a member of Rotary, and she joins us right now, Jane Anne Shimizu from Gunsite, the Harvard of gunfighting schools. Hello, Jane Anne.
Hello, Tom. How are you?
I am well. I mean, for as long as I have known you, you have been involved in Rotary. This has to have shaken you guys up just a smidge.
Well, and, here in Prescott, Arizona, where Ruger resides and Davidson's resides and Gunsite and Wells Guns, it's really shaken a lot of us up because we're all conservative. We're all Second Amendment-loving people, and even the Rotarians who aren't conservative, the liberals, are still gun owners. So I have a club of about 75 people, with many of us threatening to resign if Rotary International doesn't do something about this. Not only did they say nothing about guns, nothing about gambling, in Arizona, we have casinos, and we actually 2 weeks ago had a casino night for our Rotary and raised $17,000. So, and no alcohol. And in June, they are going back to the legislators, and we are sending a special group from Prescott, Arizona, to fight this. And if they don't change it, then anybody can form a 501c3 and do community service.
Well, of course, Jim in our studio here, he said, well, did anybody thank Rotary for doing this recruiting for Kiwanis? Because a lot of people are going to leave.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. But Rotary is smaller than Kiwanis, and Rotary is a bunch of marketing. It was the original marketing platform. It was founded in 1905 by an attorney named Paul Harris, and he wanted to get together with a bunch of his friends in Chicago and just talk about their business. It's for business owners. And that's how Rotary got started. And I believe it was the beginning of the marketing we see today. But Rotary is not political. They formed this group to be non-political. And if you ask me, this statement about guns is extremely political.
Well, I guess the question is, what would they do? Because I know you guys there, I'm sure you do fundraisers with guns or things with Gunsite, and you do, practically everybody in Prescott, Arizona, as you say, depending on, doesn't matter if they're left or right, they're probably a gun owner and a shooter. So
exactly. We donated a .250 pistol class to the casino night 2 weeks ago, and they raised $1,800 with that certificate.
Well, and under these rules, that would be prohibited under these rules.
Yes, it would be prohibited. We have a Rotary Day at the range coming up in July that is really going to put this rule to the test, because they're going to have to put their Rotary umbrella of insurance for this event we're having in July for my Rotary. So we're gonna take them to task on this. We have 4 lawyers in my club that are actually forming a group to go to our district governor, and our district governor will go to the national district governor, and they're having their conference in June or July in Atlanta.
Right. So they're going to press the issue
about it.
Huh. Okay. What happens if Rotary International says we don't care about the U.S., we're just going to hold on to this idea, this prohibition?
They will lose a lot of money, because I have already stopped making my international contribution. Every quarter I pay a $25 contribution for Rotary International. And I have pulled my $25 a quarter, and I think most of our club members have pulled their $25 a quarter. So they're going to see the impact right away on the money that they're collecting.
Now, did you let them know why you were doing it?
Yes, we definitely let them know why we were doing it. Our president let them know. He's behind it. But, every Rotarian in every state has to get behind this.
Yes, and that's the thing. If you're a Rotary member, and no matter where you are, you've got to raise a stink over this and just say, no. You can't be treating legal, regulated, responsible gun owners as though they are criminals. This is just, this will not stand.
You can't interfere with our United States constitutional rights.
Right, exactly right.
Or they will lose all their members. I mean, they will lose a majority of their U.S. members.
Wow. Hey, Jane Anne, can you stay with us for a few more minutes?
I sure can.
Okay, you hold on here. We're talking with Jane Anne Shimizu from Gunsite. If you have any questions about getting training classes, about maybe going to Gunsite, or just about how to use a handgun in self-defense, this is your chance. Give us a holler, 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham.
We are Aguila Ammunition. We believe that getting the most out of your firearm begins with what you put into your firearm. And that's why we only source the best raw materials to manufacture the best ammunition possible. Ammunition that's reliable and dependable, shot after shot. Ammunition that holds nothing back when it comes to performance, quality, and innovation. Yes, ammunition that your guns will downright devour. Guns are hungry. Feed them at AguilaAmmo.com.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join, or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. Shopguntalk.com.
The Springfield Armory SOCOM 16 CQB is a serious package of .308 firepower with a long military background. 10 inches shorter than the standard M1A with a standard 10-round or the optional 20-round magazine. It's a thunderous close-quarters battle rifle that stops, fights, fast. Ghost ring rear and tritium front sights with a 5-position adjustable cheek piece. The SOCOM 16 CQB is ready for anything. Springfield-Armory.com.
talking with Jane Anne from Gunsite. It has been described as the Harvard of gunfighting schools. It is the standard by which others are judged. It's been around for a long, long time. And Jane Anne has been there for a number of years and probably been through a lot of the classes and probably helped teach a lot of them, Jane Anne.
Well, I've helped teach the women's classes, and I have taken almost every class at Gunsite, with the exception of the precision rifle classes, which, those classes are intense, and you have to be very, very smart to take a precision rifle class.
Well, you're
which
smart.
I am not smart enough to take a precision rifle class. I will admit it. You've got to learn windage, velocity. You've got to learn so much, and I just haven't had the time to commit to precision rifle. But it is the up-and-coming big competition that they're doing now.
But you could do it. It's not a case of you're not smart enough. It's just you have not had the time to devote to it.
Yes, because it really takes 7 days, and a lot of crawling around on the ground. And, you go out beyond 2,000 yards, and that takes a lot of studying.
It does. And, you're learning a lot. There's some math involved and, computer programs and apps and devices. And also just there's some physical stuff of laying on the ground and making those shots over and over again from a rifle that has some recoil. So, there's some physical element to it.
Yeah, and, they go out beyond 2,000 yards and they use spotting scopes and they try to find certain targets. And I call it playing sneaky sniper. And it's fun, and the guys love it, and many, many girls are taking part in precision rifle now.
Yeah, and people say, well, why would you do that? You're not a sniper. And you go, it's not about being a sniper. It's about saying, okay, this is difficult. I want to go tackle something that's difficult. I want to learn how to do it. I want to master it as best I can, and that's my challenge, my personal challenge.
Yes, and it is a sport now. It is the big competitions are now precision rifle competitions, and the rifles are amazing. The rifles that they are putting together now are beautiful. They have beautiful scopes, and there's just so much to precision rifle.
Well, of course, not too long ago, to get into that game, you had to have a $3,000 to $4,000 rifle and a scope that would cost at least half that much. And I think probably two names really changed that, Savage and Ruger, with the rifles they brought out. That the Ruger precision rifle is just breathtakingly good in terms of its value at $1,200-1,300 for a gun that would have cost you $3,000 to $4,000 just 4 years ago.
It's amazing, and Ruger did that with the Scout rifle. They took the Steyr Scout, which was $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and they put together that Gunsite Scout rifle that sells for $1,200 or less, mostly, sometimes $800. And it's a beautiful little rifle. And Ruger has really come a long, long way.
I just have not had it to the range yet. We just got in like Thursday or Friday of last week, maybe a little bit earlier, the Ruger Scout rifle in .450 Bushmaster. God, that thing is gorgeous.
It is, isn't it? It's very pretty. I'm lucky enough to see a lot of the Ruger product before it even comes into fruition because they bring the prototypes out to Gunsite, and we get to play with them. So it's fun.
Well, you probably wouldn't be the one to tell people, but I can tell them a lot of gun companies take their stuff out to Gunsite to ring them out, to see how they work, to maybe sometimes just to introduce them to the media before everybody, knows about it. But Gunsite has become somewhat of a proving ground for new guns, hasn't it?
It really has. From Remington to Colt to Kimber will be here next month. We have the media is amazing. They bring their specific media people with them, and they take pictures. They spend 4 to 5 days out there, and they probably get 10 magazine articles out of it.
And that's something.
Because we can do anything, with 22 purpose-built ranges, we can do anything.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Whenever we come out there, we always start off with, can we? And the answer is always yes, because no matter what you want to shoot, you have a range that is almost tailor-made for it. Let me ask you a question now, because you are you are the standard by which others are judged. What are you seeing in terms of any changes in who's taking self-defense classes these days?
You know, Tom, we are busier than we have ever been. We just had a double 250 pistol class last week. More and more women all the time, but everybody knows that. The well-armed woman got the word out on that. And kids, people are bringing their youth because if there's going to be a gun in the house, they want them to know how to handle it. And many times you've heard in the news where there's a home invasion, and it's the kid who goes and gets the shotgun. It's the kid who goes and gets the firearm to defend their home with, because no one expects the child to know how to handle a gun responsibly. But more and more, people are training their young adults.
So do you have an age cutoff?
You know, if your child is over 12 years old, large enough to handle a full-size weapon, which is 9mm all above, and old enough to spend a week with adults, they can take our 250 pistol class.
Wow.
We do have a youth pistol class in July that runs at the same time as the adult 250 pistol class. And a lot of people bring their kids to that. It's kind of like summer camp for the kids. Well, but the parents get to spend the evenings with them, and it's fun.
Well, what I was going to say is what's beautiful about that is they're all there at the same time, but the adults, the parents, are not in the same class with the kids, which is great because that keeps them from trying to help.
Exactly. And, you know, the kids have this camaraderie by the end of the week that they want to challenge the adults. They want to have a shoot-off with the 250 adult class. And I've seen them win a couple of times. Those kids are amazing. They're like sponges.
I don't want to go up against a 14-year-old that has great eyes and lightning-like reflexes.
Yes, exactly. I go down to the ranges and I'll go to the kids' class and I'll watch those kids getting down into kneeling and getting down into prone. They just slam it down. And then I go to the adult class where they're going, oh, again? We have to do this again? And it's kind of fun to watch how quickly the kids catch on.
What are you seeing in terms of any changes with what people are bringing to the classes in way of guns? Are you finding that students are a little bit more attuned to getting good equipment these days?
Well, you have to bring good equipment to Gunsite, or you will end up buying a gun while you're there. Because if it's a cheap gun, and I'm never mentioning anybody's name, but if it's not a heavy-duty good gun, it won't make it through 1,200 rounds, and that's how many rounds you shoot in your 250 class.
It's a good point. I mean, you're going to find out if your gear works, and that's belt, holster, pistol, mags, all of that. Now, the good part is if it doesn't work, you just go over to the pro shop, and Susan's going to fix you up, and you can get a gun and magazines and holster and belt and everything you need. In fact, and I always tell people, if you wanted to, you could show up at Gunsite with just your clothes, and you guys have everything else.
We have everything. We even have socks now. But we really do. Socks? We have everything you could possibly need. And if we don't have it, I will go to town and find it for you. If it's a caliber that we don't carry, because we don't carry 10. We don't carry a lot of the rifle calibers, but I will get it from a local gun store and bring it to you that day.
And we're not talking about around the block. We're talking about a 45-minute each-way drive.
Yes. But that's okay. I don't mind.
That's okay. You'll do it. I know you will. And that's just what the place is like. For me, Gunsite is the happiest place on earth. I just got to tell you. You know, it's not Disneyland. I mean, you guys are Disneyland for a lot of us. I guess the other question I would ask is, as you're seeing the classes go through, and you talk to people, are you finding any difference in the motivation of why people come, or is it the same as it's always been, or maybe just a increased awareness?
Well, you know, we are finding that the people are coming to Gunsite not just because they love to shoot guns, but they're doing it for home defense. They're doing it for self-defense. And the people that are coming now to these 250 classes, many of them have never touched a gun. They come with a gun in a box, and they will be the first to tell you, I don't know how to load the magazine. They are green, but you've got to give them credit. They realize the need, and they are buying their gear and coming to Gunsite. We do a lot of phone talking a lot of talking on the phone with people to help them get ready to come, because we really do want you to be ready when you come out. But we don't care if you've never handled that firearm before. In fact, many times we prefer it.
Yeah, no kidding. You say, okay, let's just go ahead and instill some good habits without having to erase the bad habits before we start working on the learning process.
Yes, definitely.
Well, that's interesting. People will show up with a gun in a box and don't know how to load it. And here's the thing. It's a 5-day class. The 250, for those who don't know, the Gunsite 250 class is the introductory class. It's a 5-day class. And then you can take a 350, and was the next one a 450?
499.
Okay.
499
and then
is the
499.
Class.
And then you can take all sorts of classes like, team tactics and rifles and shotguns and, there's almost nothing you guys won't teach.
That are centered. We have classes centered around active shooters, because people who are in these big cities and they get involved in an active shooter, they need to know if they are carrying a firearm, they need to know how to safely handle it in a crowd. I mean, there are things that you would never even think of if you were in a mall and you've got a bad guy going in and out of innocent people. And those are the kind of things we teach in our active shooter classes, and we have another one called ballistic response.
Wow.
So,
all right, so
and those classes are always full.
I bet they are. And let me just tell people so they can find it. It's Gunsite. It's Gunsite, correct?
.com.
Gunsite, Gunsite.com. And you go there, you'll see all the lineup of the classes and the dates and all the rest of the information. It's all there. And Jane Anne, thank you so much. I appreciate the info on Rotary and Gunsite. It's always great to catch up with you.
Thank you, Tom. It's so nice to talk to you. Take care. Have a great day.
You too. And when you go there, you will have what we call the Gunsite Epiphany, where you're going to go somewhere on the second day, you're going to go, holy cow, now I get it. And you know what? If you've been to Gunsite or one of these classes and you've had that epiphany, call me. 866-TALK-GUN. Share that experience.
Gun Talk encourages you to support the local sporting goods store, gun stores, ATV dealers, and other local businesses in your area who advertise on this station and Gun Talk. Only together can we protect our rights. You're listening to Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
And we are back. Had a conversation earlier this week. Question, I guess I would ask you, when you're choosing, and let's talk about hunting probably at this point, hunting rifles. Big bullet going slow, smaller bullet going fast. What's your preference? No difference? Or why would you choose one over the other? Big bullet or small bullet? I mean, obviously big bullet going fast would get you all of that and some recoil also. But when you look at that, how do you, even within a cartridge, say if it's a .30 caliber cartridge, lighter weight bullet going faster or heavier weight bullet going slower, how do you make that call for your hunting rifle? Our number is 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. John did that. He's in Redding, California. I think on the road there. Hey, John.
Hi, Tom. How you doing?
I am great. What you doing?
Well, just been on I-5 in the great communist state of California. And I got a question on 1911.
Okay.
What is the difference between an external and an internal ejector?
Ah, you're the guy that sits in the bar and starts a fight with a question like that, aren't you?
I've had questions to people. They've given me their pros and their cons, but, I trust you and your judgment, so what you got to say about it?
I feel strongly both ways.
Okay, so no difference between the two then, huh?
It is, for me personally, it is personal preference. I think the 1911 works really, really well the way John Browning designed it. I think putting external ejector extractor on it, that's cool and fine and gives you something else. And I accept the argument for people who say it's a better system. Okay, that's fine too. I've just not had a problem. So I have both. And I got to tell you, the only reason I have guns with both is because I wanted the gun and didn't care what the ejector extractor system was. It just didn't bother me. So for me personally, and I mean, some people are going to say, oh, no, one's better than the other. Okay, fine. Call me. Tell me why. I would just pick it on the basis of which gun you like.
Well, I was looking at a Sig Sauer, but I was also looking at Springfield Armory too. So
let me ask you, do you live in California?
Yes, I do, unfortunately.
Well, I guess in your case, it's kind of what can you get that's still on the roster?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, with any luck, we're going to destroy the California handgun roster because that case is going to go. It's just been at the Ninth Circuit. We're waiting for a decision there. No matter which way it goes, it's going to go to the Supreme Court. And we will have Justice Neil Gorsuch there. And the idea that they have, for those who don't know, we have this handgun roster. It's a list of guns that can be sold in California. And they've added to it a requirement that it has to have all guns put on the list now have to have microstamping, which is impossible. It's a technology that does not exist. It can't be done. And so if it is, in fact, a slow gun ban, that's what it is, because eventually all the guns will be off the list. There'll be none that are allowed to be sold in California. And we know from the Heller decision you can't ban guns. So I think this will be overturned when it gets to the Supreme Court. So with any luck, you're going to have your choice of a lot more guns than you do now.
Yeah, and all of us Californians need to join CalGuns. That is the one organization that I really, really, truly love.
Absolutely. Check it out, calguns.net and Calguns Foundation. I think it's .org. Thank you, John. I appreciate the call. Yeah, if you're in California, you are, people often say, yeah, we're behind enemy lines over here in California. I get it. It must feel like that sometimes. Truly, you need to belong to CalGuns. You need to be supporting the CalGuns Foundation. These are the guys who are doing the heavy lifting. They are fighting the battle, whether it's on a county-by-county basis or in the state, or actually challenging state regs and pouring hundreds of thousands of dollars into legal fees on cases that are going to the U.S. Supreme Court. If there, you heard me say this 10 months ago, if there was nothing else at stake in the presidential election, and for me it was the beginning and the end of the presidential election was the Supreme Court. And when the New York Times said that Hillary had a 92% likelihood of being elected or a 96% likelihood of being elected, I, like a lot of people, got into a real funk about that, thinking, well, we know what she's going to do. And, of course, the Democrats, the leftists, and the media, but I repeat myself, they were on cloud nine. They had already made their plans for the next 4 and 8 years. It's why they are just nutso right now, trying to delegitimize the Trump administration. And yes, Jim makes the point. We also are going to be focusing on the lower federal courts because there's more than 100 positions that need to be filled there. And that's where Supreme Court justices come from. And that's where the majority of cases get decided, and they don't ever make it to SCOTUS, to the Supreme Court. So filling those lower courts is going to be key. And now this is what it is. You know, they say elections have consequences, and the Democrats are going to say, but you can run those through with a vote of 51 now. Yep, and Harry Reid did that for you, didn't he? He got rid of the filibuster rule on the lower courts, and so the Republicans can now put in the just judges on the lower courts that Donald Trump nominates. So what goes around comes around, and I have some other things I'd like to say, but I'm not allowed to say it on the radio. Oh, we'll take a break with that one. 866-TALK-GUN. Do you like small bullets going fast, big bullets going slow? How do you choose, and what is your favorite, absolute favorite hunting caliber. 866-TALK-GUN. Used guns can be a great value, but you have to know who you're buying from. What if you could buy quality used guns with a lifetime warranty from the Internet's largest online reseller? That's what you get at Dewey'sGuns.com. They stand behind every firearm purchase for life. If you have a problem, they'll either fix or replace your gun. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, and more. Check out their inventory today at Dewey'sGuns.com.
Built to perform in the harshest conditions, the Ruger American pistol can take it all, from ice to dust and everything in between. The Ruger American pistol features a short take-up trigger, Novak sights, and a recoil-reducing barrel cam with low mass slide for reduced felt recoil. Plus, a modular grip system with 3 sizes to fit almost any hand. Check it out at Ruger.com. The Ruger American pistol, because anything else would be un-American.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free, yes, a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, you know. You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or GunDealio.com.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit SigSauer.com today.
All right, let's see. A news release from the NRA. Firearms purchases still trending up. Yeah, I know. Everybody's been hearing all these stories from the media. Gun sales are down. It didn't work out the way they thought. Trump's destroying the gun industry. Well, no, actually not. There truly has been a little slump, but I think it's more on the basis of dealers, gun stores, not ordering or not buying, not stocking up. Individuals are still buying guns. Looking at the NICS checks, that's the instant background check system, right? It's up 9% from February to March. Let's see, and February was up 10% over January. Now, understand the NICS checks are not a direct indication of new gun sales. Could be used guns, could be something else. Let's see, but where was the number I just saw that was interesting in this thing? I was looking on this story. Oh, yeah, here we go. There were just over 1.35 million firearms sold in March, according to the estimate working off of the NICS checks. 1.35 million firearms sold in March of 2017 in the U.S. Not a slump. Hey, Matt's with us out of Beaver, Oklahoma on too. Matt, what's going on with your pistol?
I've got a SIG P320 compact, and it seems when I get further away from my target that it's shooting high for me.
Okay.
I've heard that you can change that front sight out and get a shorter post on the front, and I was wondering if that is something I needed to look at.
Well, a shorter post on the front would make it shoot even higher.
Okay. Be the opposite then. All right.
Yeah, okay. Let me ask you, I'm going to ask you 2 or 3 questions here. We're going to see if we can troubleshoot this thing. Has anyone else shot it, and does it shoot the same way for them?
No, sir.
Okay, first thing I'm going to suggest is you let a couple of other people shoot it, people who know how to shoot, because sometimes we all see sights a little bit differently, and it may be that it's just a case of the way your eyes are and the way you're holding it, and you set it up with a little bit more front sight in the notch than other people. So that's the first thing I would do. Now, the other thing is, I'm looking at the notes here. It says you have shot only 147 grain ammo in it. Is that right?
Correct. That is the ammo I would like to carry in it, so that is what I've been shooting, full metal jackets and hollow points.
Okay. First of all, I'm going to tell you that's not my choice for defensive ammo. I think I want some more velocity out of it. But let me throw this out. The heavier the bullet, the higher it's going to hit. If you go with lighter weight bullets, you go down to 124 or 115 grain bullet, it's going to hit lower.
Interesting.
Okay, it's counterintuitive. Most people think, a heavy bullet's going to fall. Except that in a handgun, there's the trick. In a handgun, the muzzle is rising as the bullet's going out the barrel, and you get a little bit more recoil out of the 147 grain bullet, so you get a little bit more muzzle rise, just a smidge. If you go to a lighter weight, faster bullet, your impact will drop on the target.
I will give that a try then.
See how that works out, and then also invite a buddy or two out, see where it shoots with them. Before I start tinkering around with sights and everything else, I would try some other things. And the other thing is, it has been my experience that 147 grain hollow point ammo sometimes, particularly out of compacts, will not expand. I think you need more velocity than you're getting out of there, especially with a shorter barrel, to get reliable expansion in self-defense load.
Okay, I appreciate that very much. I'm coming from shooting a 45. I went down to a 9 for more
cartridges.
A higher capacity, yes.
Yeah, I know. And you're thinking, well, I was already shooting 230 grain bullets, so I don't want to drop down too far. But in this case, I really think a 124 or even 115 are going to help you out. Also, in some cases, not always, but sometimes your hollow point ammo and your range ammo are going to have different points of impact. So you absolutely want to check that out.
Okay. I greatly appreciate it, sir.
All right. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's see. Do we have time to get Gary? Oh, yeah, I think we do. Gary, line 4, Bremerton, Washington. Gary, I got less than a minute. Go for it, please.
Okay, Tom. I was reading an article about the French in World War I, where they were the specific ones that had a sling on their rifle that was embedded in the stocks, because this is for folks that were couriers, or if they were cannoneers, their weapon was with them, but it wasn't in a ready position. Would this have an application, say, like you were talking about fishing in Alaska, where you'd want to, say, a carbine on your back?
Yep.
But have you seen that particular application instead of using a pistol?
Here's what I'm going to suggest. Go to the Brownells website, Brownells, and do a search for Latigo sling, Latigo. They have a leather sling that I've been using for 30 years, and it will snug right up tight against the gun, so it's out of your way. And just with a pull on it, it will run right out, so you can put it over your shoulder, or you can use it for shooting with a handy sling setup. And it is a beautiful sling, and it'll set up for almost any bolt-action rifle. I'm not sure how it would work. I don't think it works for an AR type, but for a bolt-action rifle, it should work great. It's called the Latigo sling, and I think it gets to that point you're talking about. You could get it out of the way, or you could use it when you need it. 866-TALK-GUN. What are you thinking about buying? Or what have you taken to the range? Range report time. All right, back with you, going straight to the phones. Paul's on line 3 out of Wasilla, Alaska. Paul. What do you think, Paul? Bullets. Well, where'd Paul go? Well, Paul. Hey, Paul. No, Paul. Paul. Okay, never mind. We'll put him back on hold. Paul likes longer bullets. He also had a question. I'll go ahead and just dive into it. I was going to avoid it. A lot of people talk about this now. There's a trainer. Anybody can be a trainer. There's a trainer by the name of Gabe Suarez. Yeah, I don't mind using his name. Let's see. Oh, we got Paul back? Okay, let's get Paul on here. Hey, Paul, I was just talking about Gabe Suarez in this class. It's called Killing Within the Law. He's got a 2-part YouTube video on it. What do you think?
Well, I can't get YouTube videos on my computer. I have an old one that doesn't load the player thing. But just the whole concept of the gentleman killer that he talks about kind of suggests to me a bunch of Walter Mitty types that want to see themselves as James Bond. And I certainly wouldn't want that on my resume if I ever found myself speaking with a prosecutor.
Yeah, I was reading a piece in Bearing Arms. Is it Bob Owens did? He says, wouldn't you just love it? You're on trial after a shooting. He said, now I'd like to enter into evidence the defendant's graduation certificate from Suarez International's Killing Within the Law class. Yeah, how to get away with shooting somebody is what it amounts to. It's such an insanely bad idea, just on the face of it. You're going, okay, and as I say, you put the massive 14-foot tall air quotes around trainer sometimes, because there are a lot of people who have institutes or training schools, or they are trainers, and there are people that I wouldn't want to stand next to if they were carrying a gun. So this is one of them. Let's just put it out there. This is one of them. I just wouldn't. You make your own choice. People will go to different places, and no, I'm not going to this class. No, I don't want this class on my resume. No, I don't want it to be known that I took a class on how to shoot or how to kill within the law. First of all, here's the deal. For those, and I appreciate it. By the way, you like long bullets, right, for killing?
You betcha. Because the longest for the caliber.
Yep. So high sexual density gives you better penetration. Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Paul. All right, here's the thing. And you have to have this in your mind. We do not carry guns so we can kill people. We carry guns or have guns for protection so we can stop attackers. If you don't clearly understand the difference, you need to go to Gunsite, or you need to get one of our DVDs at shopguntalk.com, or you need to get with a good trainer. We're not trying to kill someone. We're trying to stop them from hurting us or someone else. If in the course of stopping them, that person expires, well, that is called an occupational hazard of being a violent felon. But it's not our goal. Well, no. If you go, oh, well, I'll just kill. No. Be careful. What you say can and will be used against you in a court of law, including that class you took. And yes, they will know. How will they know? Are you kidding me? They're listening on your phone when you're talking right now because you got your stupid Siri enabled. Yeah, they hear everything. 866-TALK-GUN. What do you think about a class killing within the law? What do you think about the difference between killing and shooting to stop? Do you fully understand it? And how do you explain it to your friends? Let me know.